Hi guys, it's the morning after, the night before. Lando Norris is your 2025 F1 champion. Well done. It is the Pit Talk Pod powered by Ithara, Robert Doornbos.
Morning.
Morning. I'm always sounding
Yeah,
like
you
this.
sound like you partied with Lando, but it's not.
We were in a car together early last night. The bags under the eyes. It's been a long weekend.
It's been a long weekend, long season. It's been an intense triple header the last few weeks. It's been an amazing end of the Formula One season. It was a bit of an anticlimax, maybe.
Says the Dutchman
in Abu Dhabi, knowing that this championship fight, the comeback of the century was going on, and I mean Max did all he could, and of course all congrats to Lando. But a small part of me was hoping that there would be a Dutch party in the marina of Abu Dhabi.
Not just a small part, Robert.
Yeah.
I saw you walk towards me last night down at Yas Marina Circuit, and I can say it all now. No disrespect to Lando. Of course, we're delighted for Lando. But Robert walking, chin was on the ground. You were gutted that we were not partying last night.
Yes. I wanted to see you flex those 2.50 meters legs up the... No, but I mean, it's all part of this hectic Formula One season, right? It was very unpredictable. Most races, this outcome was predictable. If nothing would have happened in the race, and it did not happen in the race. It did not happen into turn one. It did not happen strategically. I mean, Max did all he could. 2 poles on the Saturday, 2 laps good enough for pole, and a stunning race pace.
Dare I say it, Rob? The race went exactly what we predicted it to go. It was pretty routine. I mean, the fact that all 20 drivers finished.
It
tells you all you need to know.
True.
It was an end of season party ultimately.
Yeah, and I think the Oscar moment was intense when he passed Lando on the outside on the harder compound tires. You're like, okay, maybe Oscar has a better pace today than Lando. Lando's getting a bit nervous on the mediums, but then again, he has enough in third place. I was rooting also for Charles Leclerc also to go into the mix. He was in the DRS for the first 10 laps, I think, and then he fell back. So, yeah, straightforward pace. The 3 drivers on the podium that should be on the podium. And I think Max can be very proud of his season, story of this season.
Max with the victory, his 8th Grand Prix victory of 2025. Yeah. Lest we forget, that's more than Lando. Lando walks away with 7 wins. Oscar
more
7.
Than Oscar, same. And more pole positions on both guys. I mean, all in all, Red Bull really came from a long way back. Huh? Let's not forget, he won the 2 opening races, and then afterwards we didn't see him winning any races. There was a lot of negative energy in the team. Obviously, the big moment was when Christian Horner left the team, and suddenly Laurent Marquez arrived, and he had to make bold decisions to end up here. And one of these bold decisions was to not give up on the 2025 car and try to find the diva cure but that's what they called it. It was a diva. The car didn't behave the way you wanted to make sure you win races again. And look where he ended up. He ended up winning lots of races.
Amazing for Max. 2 wins in his first 15 races of this season. He would win 6 of the last 9. But he is in the story for now. The story is
Lando.
So let's start there. 26 years of age, 152nd career starts in Abu Dhabi. Those emotional scenes, and I've said on this podcast, I wanted Oscar.
Yeah.
And I've said I wanted Oscar. I've got no skin in the game. I'm not Australian. But there was something about Oscar, and there still is, that I really admire and like.
Yeah.
It wasn't to be. For Lando Norris to win his first title, as I say, 26 years of age, the tears streaming as he crossed the finish line. Even I had a lump in my throat.
Same. I mean, if you see the parents there, the family, the childhood dream, let's not forget the dedication from parents to go to a go-kart track 40 weekends in a year, in the cold, in the wet, in England, just standing there and helping your son fulfill his dream. That is what it's all about, in Formula One. It's the pinnacle of motor racing. It's the highest you can get, and the highest you can achieve is to become world driver champions.
His mother talked about it. And again, there's accusations that, listen, to be a Formula One driver, you need a leg up in this world, right? You need to be, in a lot of cases, born silver spoon in the mouth. You have to have certain advantages that other kids don't. But listening to Lando's mother talking about the sacrifices, she was talking about the fact she's not massively been in her son's life because he's been traveling the globe. And she said, I'm still not in his life, but she was full of emotion because of the sacrifices that she and Lando's father, Alan, had made for Lando to get him to be there, whether you're a fan of Lando or not, whether you think Lando's going to go on and win more world championships or end up with just one, he's still, and you can never take it away from him, he's world champion.
He's a Formula One world champion in the books. It's been a while since a British driver, obviously with Lewis Hamilton, but coming from Somerset, small place in England, it was Jenson Button, who we managed to speak to over the weekend as well.
Born in Bristol, brought up in Glastonbury.
Yeah.
Was Lando.
So they are, obviously very proud nation. In the UK, they produce great racing drivers and another champion.
He'll be a good champion for F1.
I think he's a good champion for the next generation of F1 viewers around the sport. He's very active on social media. He's funny, the way he communicates. He has this nice aura around him. If you see him in the paddock, he's always jovial, laughing. Different character than Max. I think his problem initially was trying to be like Max, trying to be the hard guy, trying to be the tough character, which he's not. He's just a really friendly guy. And I think today proves you don't need to be a world champion.
Well, he said it. He said, I did it my way.
Yeah.
He said, I don't have the aggression of a Max. I'm not necessarily a controversial figure. No. I want to do things by the book. I want to be honest.
It looks uncomfortable if he tries to be a controversial figure. He tried to be earlier this year, trying to make statements to Max. So it doesn't suit him. I think he's grown a lot, and he's also the monkey is off his back. Let's not forget, if you win a race, it's the same. The next race comes easier, the next victory. If you win a championship, perhaps the next championship comes easier now.
Of course, so much conjecture about what's upcoming in 2026, but does he have the look and feel of a multiple world champion? Be honest, Rob. Or could this be a one and done?
This could be a one and done because it's been a while for McLaren that they produced a fast car like this. Who knows who has the best car in 2026? Big regulation change coming up, not only on the engine side, but also on the chassis side. So, time will tell, but I don't see him as a Max or a Lewis as of yet. You know, these guys are maybe
stone cold killers.
Stone cold killers. That's next level.
Yeah. In terms of the race, you've said it. The Oscar pass early on, we got a little bit excited.
Yeah.
I guess the only other bit of excitement came from Yuki Tsunoda on the radio saying, "Guys, just leave me to it. I know what's needed." Interesting, there was a little bit of a ripple of laughter in the media centre where I was. But speaking to Yuki after the race, he was a bit annoyed. He admitted that the reason that he was quite sharp and quick with that was because the team were in his ear. They wanted him to do something. He was like, "Guys, you told me what I needed to do in the briefing. I don't need you continuously. Essentially, shut up and leave me to it."
Yeah, and maybe it's not that smart either from the team to push him that much over the radio, because we all can hear this, and obviously the FIA can hear it as well. And in the briefing room, you can discuss what you want. And I think it was quite clear what to do. If he has a possibility to slow Lando down, try it, but nothing crazy like you see on the memes on the internet that he would put on his goggles and go all in for the kamikaze move. That's not what the sport is all about. There were some good memes though. But
there were some great memes. Ultimately, you're right. He got the 5-second penalty. Lando was forced off the track momentarily, but give Lando his due. He committed to it. And he pulled the move off.
I have to say, after his first pit stop, I thought, okay, maybe that's too early for Lando. And then how is he going to cope with traffic? Because in traffic, it's the easiest way to lose a front wing or make him have a small incident. And he was aggressive. He really drove like a champion yesterday.
Yeah, he did. He was magnificent. In terms of Yuki, of course, he'll move on to pastures new. He's not in F1.
No. As for now, he's not in
year.
F1. There's some rumors that he will stick around as a reserve driver. Maybe for Honda as well, do something at Aston Martin. But I think Yuki should go to IndyCar. You know, his predecessor was Takuba Sato. I used to race as well in F1. I raced him in IndyCar. He's a very successful Japanese driver on the other side of the pond. So see how that goes for him.
Right, watch this space on that. Now, a lot of people this morning, I was up with my bowl of cornflakes really early this morning. The eyes half asleep still, but reading an awful lot. And you and I had this conversation, Robert, about a lot of new fans to Formula One maybe don't understand the technical nuances. A lot of people I'm reading, Max should have done more. He should have looked to have affected the race a little bit more. Yes, he needed to win it. He held up his end of the bargain. but calling for him to do something just to upset Lando.
Yeah.
Let's put that to bed. Could he have done anything different?
Well, first of all, lots of new fans were there anyway in Abu Dhabi. I saw people on a yacht. If you ask them now who won the race, they have no idea.
Clue.
They have no idea. So
That's F1 in a nutshell.
F1 in a nutshell. Could have Max done differently? No, to be honest, I don't think so. And I think that's takes some explanation to do, because qualifying, could he have done anything different? No, he got a tow from Yuki. He was like, okay, let's prove that I can also do it without a tow from Yuki. So 2 laps good enough for pole. In the race, great start, didn't look back, had the pace and setup as well to drive fast in the straight line. So he had a little bit less downforce. No point to drive slower and trying to bunch up the field, because overtaking is possible on the straight. So you become like a sitting duck. I think he did all he could, and he asked the team sometimes for some updates. Is Charles Leclerc pushing Lando maybe into a mistake? But nothing happened, So yeah, not the epic final then on track that you were hoping for, but the end result counts.
And he could take great pride, can Max, in his
Fantastic.
certainly not just his second half of the season performance. If you look at it, basically 1/3 of the season.
Yeah.
15 races, he's not really an entity. He's not involved in the conversation. Last 9, he wins 6 of those.
Yeah, and it says more. It says a lot about Max. It says a lot about the team. It says a lot about what Red Bull decided to do. I mean, we all remember the moment that Christian Horner got fired after the British Grand Prix. Zach Brown, all the other teams, Toto Wolff. It was energy for them as well to see. You know what? Red Bull is now done.
Piranha's feasting.
Yeah, Piranha's feasting. It's F1 as well. It's tough business. At the end of the day, it's big money, as we saw with Toto selling his shares. Teams' valuations are exploding. So, they don't mind another team who was dominant, see them not do so well anymore, and then lose their CEO, team principal. Who knows what Laurent Marquis would have done
at the start of the season.
At the start of the season, So, big changes happened there. Christian Horner said, this car, forget about it. We'll focus on next year's car. Tension rose in the team, and then Laurent arrived and said, you know what? We're going to get to the bottom of this car. And they found the speed. They found the results. And the loyalty of Max sticking with the team. I thought he would abandon ship as well early in the season, not knowing that it was sort of a deadline. Christian goes or I go. Well, Christian went, obviously. So it was a bold decision from Red Bull, and they ended up
It's amazing, because we talk about, in a lot of ways, Red Bull playing with house money is the phrase I would use, in that no one expected them after 15 races, after Zandvoort, to be in this conversation. For them to make a fist of it, I mean, let's get one thing straight. Max not winning this year does not harm his legacy. If anything, Robert, I actually think it enhances it, because now, all of a sudden, I'm going to put my hand up a little bit here and admit to this. I wasn't necessarily Max's biggest fan. I've got that much more respect for him this year, in the sense that I'm starting to, put it like this, I'm starting to understand Max a little bit more.
Starting to understand, and I think he really acts like a multiple champion. The way he got it on the chin yesterday, even Kimi Antonelli walked up to Max in the driver's sort of media session afterwards. He said, I'm so sorry from Qatar, because he let Lando pass in Qatar. Those 2 points.
Well, he didn't let.
Well, no, he didn't let. Sorry. He made a mistake, lost control of his own car, and Lando passed him.
Just in case the solicitors are listening or
no,
watching
no. But forgive me, Monday morning. I only had 1 coffee. But Max started smiling. He said, no, don't worry about it. Of course, there's nothing that would have changed. But I think in the end, he acts like a champion. The way he congratulates, he walks around the paddock, and the way he just is not bothered with.
And, Robert, obviously you've been in this game a lot for a very long time. You were a busy boy this weekend. You were in conversation with Mark Webber. I know you did an event with Jenson Button. Yeah. I did an event with Gunter Steiner. Yeah. What a guy he is, by the way. More on that a little later.
Did he swear?
A few times.
Lots of editing afterwards.
Tell you, a great line from him. Best driver. Who do you think he said?
Best driver. He worked with a few. I probably didn't say Robert Doornbos, but Kimi Räikkönen.
He did not. He said huge talent, bit like you, very naturally gifted. He did say Max.
Max, yes.
But best driver, not in Formula One. I've got to give this man a shout out. The late, great Colin McRae.
Oh, a rally star.
He said Colin was talent.
Yeah.
persona.
And how come he worked with Colin in the
He
rally
worked
world?
in the rally world, so he got his big break, did Gunter, in rallying from 86 through to 2001. And it was Nicky Lauda who contacted him. It was Nicky Lauda who headhunted
For the Jaguar project.
Gunter to get into the Jaguar
Yeah,
project.
that's when I met him, when Jaguar was bought by Red Bull. Then
That's
I
right.
worked with him at Red Bull, yeah.
He's a character.
Yeah,
So
he's a
he is.
character.
But anyway, that's aside from that. The reason I raise him and Jensen, to a man, they all say Max Verstappen. That's how, to your point, that he has that respect in the paddock that he is a 4-time world champion.
Yes, and of course there were days that people don't like him, the way he acts. Like his bad day this year was probably Barcelona, that you saw the character of Max. Understandable, because he gives his whole life to this sport, right? So if things don't go his way, he's not a happy chappy. And 5 and 6 can go the other way. 6, 7, what these kids say all the time. But yeah, if you look back at his whole season, he really stood up as a champion.
So on that, and I know this is a bit of an unfair question, I don't think it's in doubt that Lando Norris, a worthy champion. Ultimately, a season is 24 races, and he finished with the most points.
Definitely.
But, there is a but. The best driver of this year is
That is the but, in my opinion. Because I don't think Lando has proven to be the best driver this year. In my opinion, it's Max. And it's not being biased. It's just pure facts, statistics. Most of the case, Max didn't have the fastest car. It's true. It sounds arrogant, but Max would have become world champion earlier if he would have driven the McLaren.
Do you believe that?
I truly believe that, because he's been faultless. He's not putting a wheel wrong. If Lando looks in the mirror and he doesn't give a shit now because he's a world champion,
Exactly.
he's who cares about this season? It's done. I'm the champion. But if you look back in this season, how many mistakes he has made. And it's all about not making mistakes. So the benefit of driving such a dominant car has pushed him over the limit and obviously made him champion.
Yeah.
But if you look at Max not having the best car and just extracting the maximum out of your package week in, week out, that is something special.
Because one of the journalists did ask Max about Spain and that incident with George Russell, saying, when you look back at it now, you must have great regrets. Now, Max...
Still no regrets.
No regrets, because he pointed out, listen, no, I don't. It was in the moment. I did what I did. And he was basically, it was one last dig at McLaren. He said, other things have transpired where I shouldn't really even be here. If that team had got their act together...
True.
This is...
No, it's not only the driver. Of course, the team made mistakes. Look at Las Vegas, look at Qatar. Those are team mistakes. Setting up the car, the ride height, and big mistake on strategy. Cost a lot of points. So they both won it. I mean, it's mega constructors and drivers, but they also got away with it. You know?
Little quiz question for you. I know you're going to get this right. Last time that McLaren did the double?
I checked this.
You did?
Mika Hakkinen. Yeah,
Which
I checked
year?
this. 97, 98, 97.
Well, that's it.
No, I checked this.
Of course.
Because it's been a while. And I spoke to Jensen about it as well. Because when he moved to McLaren, it was a big team coming from when he won the championship. It was a small team that he was racing for, basically. It was Ross Brawn who just bought the team and built a mega car, and he won the championship with. Then he moved to McLaren with Lewis Hamilton, and he said, "Yeah, McLaren is such a different heritage if you drive for a team like that." So, yeah, this is a big one for them, the drivers and the constructors.
One man we can't forget in all of this, and I think. You know, the circus moves on, as they say, and there is certainly kind of a festival feel to Formula One. There will be rightly a lot of plaudits for Lando over the coming days.
Of course.
There will obviously be a lot of love for Max, what he's done this season. Let's not forget Oscar Piastri. How is he feeling today, Robert? Because I go back to Zandvoort, 34 points ahead of his teammate.
Unbelievable.
104 points ahead of Max. And as we record this podcast this morning, the morning after the night before, he finished third in the World Championship. No race wins in the final 9.
Yeah.
He won 7 of the first 15. He has got to be sore this morning.
Yeah. And in the media, I mean, it's media is one thing, and how you feel is another thing. In the media, I said, many more years to come. I'm very young. I have a great team, and so it sounded a bit to me like a thing you have to say. Speaking to Mark, to his manager, Mark said, I've only been once in a position to fight for a championship. That was in the final stages of my career. He's in the early stages. It's only third season in Formula One. So lots more to come. But it's still strange that he lost performance mid-season. And we all don't understand why. Because the car balance has changed a lot. It doesn't feel great. And then there were the papaya rules that didn't favor him in the team. This is what it looks like to the outside. That it favored Lando. Oh, we had a slow pit stop. Please give the position back to Lando, like in Monza.
Will we ever find out, Robert? You've been.
I don't think it will ever, unless he brings out a book in 10 years' time from now or 15. But this is done, dusted. I think Oscar is a character that also puts it behind him now. Next year he's going to go all out, try to beat his teammate.
You say he's a character like that, but is he? I don't know him. Because.
Well, that's what Mark says. Mark says
he says he's got good
head. Good head. He can put it behind him now and go all out to beat his teammate next year, because then you have to beat the guy with number 1 on his car. He's going to be in your garage. You could have had number 1 on your car. So
in terms of that scar tissue, Mark's telling us all, don't worry about Oscar. He'll be sore for a few weeks.
Yeah,
but he'll be back.
And he has a McLaren contract long term. I think McLaren doesn't want to let him go. He's a hot property in the paddock. I'm sure more teams would love to have Oscar in the car, but Ferrari, for example, or I don't know if you want to go there now, but talk about Ferrari, man. We have a lot of Ferrari here at Mille Miglia. It's a stunning place. I see everywhere I look, I see Ferrari signs, but it wasn't their season, eh? It wasn't their season.
I mean, let's give Charles a little bit of credit for yesterday's performance.
Credit for his qualifying lap. For not putting it in the bin.
And then the first 7-8 laps, he was keeping with Lando. We thought to ourselves, right.
Yeah, but asking too much from the tires, asking too much from the car. The rear end of the car, the balance is just... They gave up on this car in April already. Eh? Frederic Vasseur said in April, done. This is not going to be our season. And he just signed a 7-time world champion, one of the all-time greats.
As far back as April, they said.
April, they already abandoned ship. They abandoned ship and they said... So therefore, I truly don't understand the remarks of Lewis Hamilton saying, I don't look forward to 26. You should just motivate the team and say, guys, done and dusted, 26 is going to be our year.
I was in the media pen last night with Lewis, and I know it's gone viral. He gave Lando a big cuddle, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I've got to say, that little snapshot, when he circled round to us, my goodness me, he's been flat. To say he was flat would be an understatement. 1 and 2 word answers again. The highlights from it. One of the journals asked, your words on Lando? Congrats. To the point another journal had to say, Lewis, a fellow Brit has just won the World Championship. We need a bit more from you. And he said, listen, congratulations, he deserves it. He expanded a little bit, not much. He said he just wants to get out of here.
Yeah.
He talked about the fact the phone is going away. I think one journalist asked, have you ever done that? No, but I'm doing it this off-season. Don't try to contact me. I'm fed up of the photo shoots. I'm fed up of everything. I want to get away. Honestly, and I get it. Like,
that's something. A Formula One contract is like this big, right? So it also says you have to be an ambassador for the team, for the organization you work for. You cannot act like that. You have to be professional.
And part of me, listen, don't get me wrong, Rob. Part of me gets it. This is a 7-time world champion. He qualified 16th.
Of course, and he spun off on his own. It just looked terrible again this weekend. But you have to be representative of the brand you work for, and it's one of the biggest brands in the world. And I have to say, it starts. I find Lewis a fantastic champion, right? The races he has done, the records he has broken, everything. But to me, there's a little bit of a scar now coming on his legacy, and that's painful to look at. To be honest,
it's painful to watch.
Yeah, to watch,
and that's why. Yeah, this is a big off season. He needs a reset mentally. He needs to, and I don't know if it's a conscious decision, but when we see Lewis again early next year, there needs to be more buoyancy. It's a state of mind. A state of mind,
and the whole organization feels it, right? Your mechanics, your engineers, your team. I mean, the radio, the communication with this engineer was the worst of all drivers engineering partnerships out there. Just no chemistry.
Zero. I look at that and think to myself, you know what they need? They need a little bit of Bobby D in there with your keynote speech. Let's get some energy.
Let's get some energy.
Come on.
No, I mean, motivate the team. There's not much you can do. We know you had a terrible season, but at least motivate the guys that they go into the off-season with a,
And you said it earlier, and again, I don't want to, it feels like we're kicking Lewis when he's down here. I'm a huge fan of Lewis. And obviously you talk about the scar tissue on his legacy. I still think the scar tissue's there from 2021.
Yeah.
But it's up to him to galvanise the team. If he's moping around and being negative, what's the knock-on effect of the team? And I know their job is to get the car ready, right? Ultimately, they're going to be professional, but we're all human beings.
But look at what happened at Red Bull. Also, Max motivates the team, thanks the guys always on the radio. Even if when it goes shit, he also lets them know he's not happy, of course. But this way, you will not motivate the team.
It's going to be a real interesting off-season from a Ferrari standpoint. It was, in the end, 4th and 8th. So Lewis actually from 16th to 8th, not where Ferrari want to be, but I mean, he was never on our television screens once.
Not really.
Someone said that to me last night.
It's a difficult car to drive as well, I have to say. I did some onboard shots with Lewis and with Charles, and the power oversteer with these cars is just...
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's always like the rear end is terrible. They just kind
what
of
does that
figure
mean
out...
From a layman's term, Robert? Break that
From a
down.
layman's term. So understeer basically means when you turn in, nobody's home, the car goes straight. It's probably you and your first driving lessons when you try to go onto the motorway, you just turn in, nobody's home. Oversteer is when you turn in and the rear just lets go. And that doesn't give any confidence to any drivers. There are not many drivers that can drive an oversteer car fast. I know Max is one of them. He wants the car pointy on the front end. He wants the front to do what he wants. And he will sort out with his talent the rear end. I think Lewis and Charles both are drivers with very fast hands. But this car looks like a handful. So for sure, Ferrari didn't do a good job.
So given the fact they threw in the towel in April, is it fair to then expect Ferrari to produce the goods in 2026?
Oh, you would have to expect, if you can have such a competitive advantage over your rivals, Mercedes, Ferrari, or Mercedes, McLaren, and Red Bull. They were all pushing their cars throughout the season, and you're already focusing on 26 rules and regulations. Build a fast engine, build good aerodynamics, mechanical grip, and you can be up there winning races, hopefully.
Watch this space on that. One other quick line from the media pen. I did love the honesty of George Russell, because he was asked about quick word on Lando.
Oh, yeah, of course. Fellow Brit, of course. And he said, really honestly, had you asked me this question a few years back when I was a bit younger, I would have been incredibly jealous and envious and probably not happy for him, which I thought, I love that. That's honest. Yeah, it's honest.
But he said, I'm a little bit older, maturer. I know what it takes. Well done, Lando. Yeah. I'm delighted. Yeah. I didn't say delighted. I congratulate him. Very much.
Well, I think that's only professional. I think George knows that Mercedes will have a really good competitive package next year, so his time will come, and you need your time. You cannot say I'm jealous if you didn't have the same machinery. He never got a fair shot at a championship title yet. If Mercedes produces a rocket ship of an engine next year, they are going to the moon, and then George has to prove his worth as a team leader.
Right. When we reflect a little bit, we take a breath, and I know it's still pretty fresh what we saw down at Yas Marina Circuit last night, but kind of zooming out a little bit, Robert, when you look back on the season, a season for the ages?
A season for the ages, yes, of course. Not only because the Pit Talk was born as a podcast, this is going to be out there for years to come, but most of all for the unpredictableness of a Formula One season, and the end of an era always proves great racing. I mean, qualifying 20 cars in 1 second, love it. I mean, this is
that is one thing Gunter did say. Obviously, everything is shrouded in secrecy. He did say he's got a feeling with the new regulations until people figure out
the gaps will be huge again. That's huge. Exactly, yeah. And normally the first year after a big engine regulation change or any regulation change is not the best year in Formula One. I'm not trying to put everybody down, but on the other hand, Peter Beyer said to me, the CEO of Racing Bulls, he said, please put it in your calendar. The first 5 races of the season is going to be mayhem with this new technology of the batteries in the car. Yeah, it's going to be mayhem. He's convinced it's going to be chaos.
It's going to be an equalizer, so we could see some crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff of charging the batteries and knowing how to work with the new technologies. We have no more DRS. We have wings. Drivers have to do even more on the steering wheel than they have to do now. So, yeah, he predicts mayhem, which is again a plus. Then let's go for that. And all in all, it's been a great season. I think we saw some great racing. We've seen competitive rookies. Out of nowhere, Isaac Hadjar is a superstar. Isaac Hadjar was a Formula 2 driver who done very well, who was famous for his very aggressive speaking on the radio and his ups and downs in the season. But in Formula 1, he was like a fish to water.
Another driver, Kimi Antonelli.
A
UAE F4. So they've all come through.
Yeah.
Through
the ranks.
It's brilliant to see.
We have Oliver Behrman, who's done a great job at obviously at Haas.
Bortoleto,
new Brazilian star.
Love him.
Very erratic as well sometimes, but fast, definitely fast. So Audi is coming back next year. Yeah, it's there's so many talking points.
Right, I want to do our little Oscars, if I can, rattle through these of the season. You've already alluded to it. Driver of the year, despite the fact didn't win the World Championship, you're sticking with Max?
I'm sticking with Max as driver of the year, but very much congrats to Lando. A world champion is something really cool, of course.
Rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year, Isaac Hadjar.
Wow.
Why? Because his consistency in qualifying into Q3, that takes something. People think it's easy to do a qualifying session. It's not. Being in the right place, right time to perform at the highest level under pressure. And obviously getting his podium in Zandvoort was his ticket to stardom, to Red Bull Racing for next year. So Isaac Hadjar, for me, is the Rookie of the Year. Yes.
Max, and I'm maybe jumping ahead of myself a little bit, Max has had control of that team. I mean, we know the trials and tribulations of Liam Lawson, Yuki this year. Does Isaac mix things up?
Well, Isaac is lucky that he gets a promotion in 26 and not in 25. Because in 25, you see, Yuki says, I have no regrets. Only regret is of picking up my phone when Helmut called. I should have stayed at Racing Bulls because he had a better chance of getting competitive results there. And he might have had a podium.
Yeah,
Yuki,
and he
had he stayed at Racing Bulls. But then again, you go to Red Bull Racing, the big team. It's hard to say no. And but for Isaac, jumping in 26, clean sheet of paper, new cars, new regulations. It's still Max Verstappen you have to beat. But taking in consideration, tell yourself the first few months I'll be slower. And then I might get close. Then it's a different start of jumping in now where he's dominating the team. And it's a one-man show.
Isaac, Rookie of the Year for you. Kimi Antonelli, I know he went a little bit quiet. I felt that Kimi kind of bookended his year. Started really strongly.
Mega. In Melbourne, fourth place in the wet conditions. I saw somebody drive a Formula 1 car like he was driving a go-kart on steroids. Like he was on it. So I was expecting a lot from him this
when
year.
You think of Kimi and inserting himself into this narrative, stick with me here. He took out Max in Austria.
Yeah.
And of course, that overtaking maneuver from Lando in Qatar, that extra 2 points. Who did he overtake? Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah.
So amazing that Kimi, in the history books,
plays a story in
will have played a big part in the destination of this World Championship. But he was strong at the start. He went a little bit quiet in the middle part of the season, but I feel that he's ended his season really well.
Yeah, the pressure got maybe a bit too much.
A little bit, maybe.
A little bit. And then he got contract confirmation, extension, which give him some breathing air, and then he got back into it. I mean, it's a big project for Toto, right? Toto really pushed Kimi into the seat, and obviously he wants to get more out of it next year, I think.
Right, so we've got driver, we've got rookie. I've got to ask this question. Flop of the year?
Yeah, I have to say Lewis. I mean, I was expecting so much when I saw this great picture in Maranello with the F40, with the jacket on. Lewis is going...
Yeah, we all drank from that Kool-Aid. We all drank from it.
Right? How do you say this?
We drank from the Kool-Aid.
Oh.
So, I've stolen that. Well, it's a well-known phrase in the UK, but it was actually Gunter that said it. He said he too drank from the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, so you all go in the hype, the Ferrari hype. And to be honest, we're all Ferrari fans inside. Deep inside, everybody wants to see Ferrari win a Grand Prix. F1 without Ferrari is not F1.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Good.
I got excited.
So your flop of the season is the same.
It has to be. We're seeing Lewis not get out of Q1.
What's your highlight of the season?
The highlight of the season, I think ultimately I'd be...
Well, as a journalist, you look at it
I'd be lying if I didn't say the last 3 weeks to get us to Abu Dhabi. Yeah. Like, you could even make a good case to say that, the infight, I say infighting, but McLaren's almost implosion. But the last 3 weeks, and you and I have had this conversation off this podcast, And I know for logistical reasons and for the health and safety of the drivers, mentally, you can't have back-to-back races too often.
It's nice, a triple header, right?
But it's amazing.
It's nice, a triple header.
It's the narrative, Robert. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
All I feel I've thought about in the last few weeks has been F1. So I think the real high for me this year has been the fact that over these last 3 races, it has come down.
That all roads lead to Abu Dhabi. That's basically it. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree.
I think that would be, in terms of other highs.
No, it's a storyline. It's a storyline of a championship fight, not 2 rivals in one team. Another guy from the outside. It's been 15 years ago. That has to be the storyline.
I think it has. And, there's many reasons why we got to this point. Obviously, McLaren's issues internally, they would hold their hands up.
And the low of the season?
The low for me, when I look back on it, I'm still a little bit miffed because I've kind of said I quite like Oscar. What happened in Monza? I didn't like that. I didn't like the Lando's pit crew's mistake. Led the McLaren boys to say Oscar. I didn't. I know that's one tiny moment from a long season, but that didn't sit well with me. I think that's what has opened up the suggestion that McLaren we're favouring Lando. Yeah.
I agree with that. I remember the Monday morning after Monza, I came here on the limiter as well, being pissed off with what you see, because I've never experienced anything like this in my career.
And I think Oscar didn't deserve that.
No, and
it's a little bit
still
like,
not fair.
A second.
Also, the communication didn't sound like they were on ball with each other. Like, guys, we discussed this, right? Pit stop is something else than on-track stuff.
Correct. Pit stops are not part of the PIA rules. Therefore, Lando, our team made a mistake.
True.
But we're not.
I agree.
Going to impact Oscar. That's our mistake. And that left a bitter taste. From a low point from your side, I know Christian's exit.
Yeah, Christian is a friend. I mean, I've known him for 20 years. And he's been obviously in charge of Red Bull for 20 years at Red Bull Racing. To see him leave at such a, it was such a hard, bold decision after the British Grand Prix.
But let's be honest, he's a friend.
It's worked out great for Red Bull. Nobody knew it then. You need to be ballsy as well. Oliver Mintzlaff, all the CEOs, all the stakeholders at Red Bull, they decided, they backed this decision. The Verstappens, everybody, this is going to happen. You never know how it will pan out, how it will play out, and it worked out great. To be honest, if you look at the stats now compared to the first part of the season, what Christian did or what Laurent Mekies did and it's not a one-man show, but he is the CEO, team principal. Yes. It worked out very well. And it's also scary that people forget about you quite quickly if you're outside of the paddock, right? So Christian is not top of mind anymore in the paddock. I'm sure he will come back. He's a great team boss. He's a great entrepreneur and CEO of any organization. So I still have my hopes up that he will come back with Alpine or some team that he can bring back to the top, but that was a low for me.
So in a lot of ways, I'm listening to you there. The kind of defining race of the season, then, in a lot of ways, was Silverstone, because it
big
led
moment
to Christian's exit. Well, I wouldn't say what happened on the track led to Christian's exit, but that
decision was made, cut, and then also, Laurent, you're in. What are you going to do different? We all know if you replace somebody, you have to do something different. If you do it the same way, it's not going to... And his big decision was, we're going to update this car. We're going to work on this car. And the championship would have gone a very different way if they would not have done that. If they would have said, you know what, 26 is our year, forget about this year. They would have an angry Max Verstappen behind the wheel all season long. They would
you
have.
Don't want that.
You don't want that. You would have had 2 McLaren drivers battling it out for the championship. So it would have been different.
I'm popping on the spot a little bit with this question. Underrated drive of the year. Is there a drive that is in the memory that you went, you know what, we don't talk about that?
Underrated. I think Carlos Sainz getting podiums in a Williams. That is something that...
Great one. And of course, Lewis didn't podium.
No, that's an underrated. But that's an underrated performance. Oh no, that's just a bad performance.
What I mean? Well, that's it. But the fact that Carlos...
because Carlos took a seat. Yes, of course, and I'm sure Carlos walked by the Ferrari garage with his trophy, like, "Hey, bye guys." This is something you do instinctively. But no, I think Carlos coming to Williams had a terrible start to his campaign there, and he really turned it around and got some mega performances.
We could sit here, we celebrate F1 as we should, and again, well done to Lando Norris. Is there one thing, looking back on the season, Robert, you'd like to change? Is it a rule? Is it something you see on a race weekend?
Well, I still don't like it when there's races being decided behind the table after a Grand Prix. I want races to be decided at the checkered flag, and not penalties a day later. And so a bit more consistency with the stewards. Try to find the same guys every weekend, so they have sort of a...
Do you want to go down that route?
I want to go down that route. Why? Because then you have a feeling of certain situations. For example, an opening lap of a race is very different than a racing incident in lap 32. Because there's cold tires. So you need former drivers there, and I'm not soliciting for a job because I'm busy enough with you.
Get that CV out.
Yeah. Hello, but I know my mate Vito Tonio Liuzzi is there sometimes, not always. But you need drivers that can, imagine themselves in a situation like that. Okay, that is a racing incident. For example, Brazil. The penalty of Oscar Piastri afterwards. It is too much.
So you want consistency there. That's interesting, actually.
That would make a change, I think. Also for the new fans. You don't want them to explain them, the result now is like this, but it can change in a few hours because it's at the stewards. No, you have to...
safety is such a buzzword. Obviously, the safety of the drivers, and we've improved. The FIA have done a great job improving that as we go. The halo, I was a skeptic like many others. The halo's been a wonderful
innovations saves lives.
No doubt. Right? So there that, for goodness sake, there is no doubt. But equally, how do we get to a point, and this is always the $1 million question, more wheel to wheel, more overtaking, allowing that little bit of aggression to come through?
Pirelli, it's a single make. Also, they have their dominance in Formula One. There's no second tire manufacturer involved.
And
in my days, there was.
There won't be because of money now, right? So Pirelli have the monopoly.
Yeah, Pirelli have the monopoly, and Pirelli can be conservative. They can be aggressive. They are in charge of how the weekend goes, and we all know it's some races are tire races that you have to just tire management. You have to look after them. You cannot push to the limit, and what you are referring to is sprint racing, pushing to the limit, and I don't care if I come to the pit stop, the tire can be done and get a new one. Like in my days, it was different. So I think tires are still a very important factor in Formula One.
And then when we start to look ahead, and I appreciate we're literally just the morning after the night before, and I'm already starting to think of 2026. But those regulation changes, they're going to level the playing field. To Peter's point, first 5 races anyway.
Mayhem, put them in the calendar. Well, it level the playing field, or it can be that one organization, and I'm talking about an OEM, an engine manufacturer that has the benefit or has the advantage early on. For example, Audi, they might have all built a rocket ship of an engine. We don't know. Mercedes, like they done in the hybrid area in 2014, they arrived and they blew everybody away. So then it's not that important how good your chassis is anymore or your aerodynamics. On the other side, aerodynamically and chassis side, Aston Martin can be flying.
On that point then, who are you most excited when they take off those covers?
Aston Martin.
Is that because of...
I want to see what new he made. I want to see what £400,000 a week gets you in the end.
Is that how much he's on?
Probably, yeah.
400 grand a week.
Yeah. To build the fastest car. He's done it before. He built many World
That's Erling Haaland money. So if you just said that Adrian Newey is essentially the Erling Haaland of the Formula One world, that is mental.
Yeah. And then as Lawrence Stroll, the one signing the check, you want to see the end result. I want to see the end result. Alonso wants to see the end result. Bring it on.
And that's the beauty of the regulation changes as well. Obviously, there are boundaries and confines you've got to stay within. But are you expecting to see, from a design perspective, and some crazy stuff that other teams will be like, what is this?
Well, that's the best part of winter testing. That's why we're going to the winter test, obviously, in Bahrain. You want to see the shock on the faces of the other teams. Like, either they've been really smart and we missed out something, or they've been really pushing the boundaries, like Mercedes did in 22. You remember? When they built this,
it's funny.
The one pot.
I had a conversation with Jefferson Slack from Aston Martin last week. He was at a F1 Innovation Forum that I was emceeing, and the question was put to Jefferson, what's been the biggest innovation? And quick as a flash, he said the Braun diffuser. Remember all the controversy around that when Jensen won the title in 2009. Some people said halo, other people said other bits.
Jensen, winter testing, if we talk about winter testing, he got in that car with Rubens Barrichello as his teammate. I was also in Barcelona testing. I listened to his engine sound coming out of the final turner and I heard him lift. So I walk over to Jensen and I said, why did you lift? He said, the car is so fast, mate. So fast. I don't want to tell anybody. And then I actually made a bet that he would become world champion. It was like 1 against 36. He would become world champion. So thank you for that, by the way. I got a nice little tickle.
36-1.
36-1. I put £1,000 in. I got £36,000. But the car was so fast. They had such a competitive advantage within the rules compared to any other team out there that it was, of course, near the end of the season, they catched up. And he didn't win any races anymore. But the first 7 races, Jensen was just disappearing off into the distance.
You clearly did your research this weekend. I know you were in conversation with Jensen. You're so right. He won, I think, 5 of the opening 7, or 5 or 6 of the opening 7, and then he did 17 race season back in 2009.
Won it in Brazil and came as a champion to Abu Dhabi.
It's crazy.
Crazy, yeah.
The first year
that can happen.
Abu Dhabi hosted the race. So yeah, it was interesting. Jeff was saying about the Braun diffuser, and that's the kind of thing that the regulations changes might allow us, because someone, whether it's Adrian...
So that's interesting. It gives other teams other opportunities, you know.
So it's Aston Martin. They're the ones.
Aston Martin, I'm the looking one for the design. On the engine side, I'm very curious to know what Mercedes have built or what Audi has built. And of course, Red Bull powertrains. Let's not forget, it's an energy drink giant, and they're not in the market of building race cars or building race engines. I mean, this is the first time they're going to do it together with Ford. Very interesting project.
So, and we had David Coulthard on this very podcast. He also talked up Aston Martin. Let's just kind of settle for a second. I can't quite believe I'm about to say this. If the rocket ship is produced that we're talking about, the expectation on Adrian Newey, could we be talking about a 45-year-old Fernando Alonso
who's fighting for a championship? Why not? Why not?
Or are we talking about Lance Stroll?
No. It's 24-0, by the way, for Alonso in qualifying. That's the only time that happened in Formula One, I think. No, I don't think Lance will be up there, but it will be definitely Alonso. If he smells a bit of a competitive car, we've seen with Aston Martin, he got a lot of podiums in his first year there. So it's possible.
Watch this space.
Space.
Who else are you excited about in 2026?
Obviously Isaac, the to be teammate of Max, to see how he goes on, see how he copes with it. See the comeback Lewis. If there's a comeback of Lewis, we see a progression of Kimi Antonelli. Obviously, in the second year. If you see a progression for drivers like Oscar Piastri, I expect also Kimi to step up. And then, new junior kids, Arvin Lindblad at Racing Bulls. The next big thing, if you ask a few of the insiders. Yeah.
The next big thing.
Yeah. So
it's increasingly a younger man's sport, Robert.
It is, huh?
It really is.
I really have to start reminding these guys that I actually drove as well, because there's a different generation. 17-year-old, 18-year-olds. I think when I was 21, I made my debut. I was young, but now it's like 17, 18. It's crazy. Lots of good things. Obviously, the Cadillac team is coming in next year.
The 2 old heads.
The two old heads. Lots of good things to look forward to.
You and I were in the car together. We were half asleep last night. It had been a long weekend, but amazing. No rest for the wicked. Well done, Lando. Boom. Schedule comes out for 2026.
So unbelievable.
It's incredible, right? We wouldn't,
I didn't show my wife yet, but
I've not done that either. It's like, I might be away for a few of these. But I hate to do this, but is there any race on that calendar that you would say that needs a little bit of TLC?
Everybody's quite critical about Monaco. I like Monaco because it's such a heritage and history,
and let's be honest.
But it's not made for these type of cars. I mean, in my days there were smaller cars, not as small as this one behind us, but they were very more agile. These cars are huge, so to drive them around the streets of Monaco is not the best place, I think. But you cannot take it off the calendar. It's a long season again, 24 races. There's a lot.
What would you change? Would you? And again,
final race of Zandvoort though next year.
It is, before it's
done. So that's a pity, but there will be a highlight.
We've just spoken about it.
If you think your voice is bad now, I'll take you to Zandvoort next year.
I'll be in with the DJs. You can do the race. I'll be partying with those guys. Just in terms of, I guess, one little change, and I know it's impossible. More races, a little tighter. These big 2, sometimes 3-week waits.
The CO being CO2 and looking to the future, and I think Formula One is doing a great job already trying to put the calendar in place. If you look at Las Vegas, Qatar, that's not the most efficient way, but I think there's no other way to do it. They try to do the maximum they can.
Back-to-back races.
Back-to-backs are the best. Like in Europe, triple headers, love it.
So do I. Give us an insight then before we wrap up. What's the life of a driver now for the next few weeks?
Well, Lando wakes up with sunglasses, feeling like a world champion. I mean, he must wake up like feeling the king today. Good for you, Lando. Yeah, enjoy it.
I think he's still in bed, actually.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
Still partying.
Yeah, good for you. Go on. Flat out, just the team, let him go. Don't talk to him anymore. And
he'll have a good Christmas. He'll go away. He'll do nothing now until when?
It's January? A short break. I spoke to the head mechanic of Max, Ole, and he says, it's testing now. They're testing in Yas Marina in the next couple of days. Then there's a 2-week break. And the 4th and the 5th of January, we're back in the factory building on the car and presenting the car in Feb and racing in March. So it's short.
2 weeks off. And they'll maybe go do a bit of skiing. Do their contracts allow them to do a bit of skiing?
Some have it, some don't. So I know they will enjoy themselves. No racing, no PR, no racing.
And then the drivers themselves, while the team are in January, what is the driver doing in the month of January? Are they in the sims?
Well, I know my trainer always said, you're done. Enjoy the ride. Eat and drink what you want. I'll meet you on the 1st of January again, and I will kick your ass. So I'm sure Max is having a nice drink and broodje kroket, we call it in Netherlands. It's like it's bad, but it tastes great.
What is it? What is that?
It's like everything they put inside in a piece of meat on and with lots of sauce, and it's terrible. But it's
sounds like a kebab.
Yeah, something like this. But,
cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds good. I need one of those. It's been a long weekend, as I say. Right, that's what the drivers are doing. And the next year we start again, and it's a clean slate. But Lando Norris will start.
With number 1 on his car. Let's see what number Max gets on his car.
And then reflecting overall then, Robert, it has been, 2025 has been a year that I think it's been 2021, we could have never foreseen what transpired in Abu Dhabi. Max getting his first world title.
Controversial.
This feels to me, with Liberty Media, with Drive to Survive, the personalities, 3-way fight in this final race, this really does feel like the coming out party for Formula One.
Formula One is at their peak at the moment, and they're still going. They're still growing. In this region, a lot is going to change in the next couple of years.
So in the release of the F1 movie, it just feels...
Yeah, it's all coming together. There are 2 new engine manufacturers coming in, which is a big publicity for F1 and a big compliment for the sport, where it's going with their innovation platform as well. On the entertainment side, you just mentioned big names, and the sport is next to the World Cup soccer and the Olympics, the best viewed sport on the planet, week in, week out. It's
speaking of the World Cup, at least Formula One. I don't know if you watched it on Friday night. The FIFA World Cup draw. The least said about that on a Formula One podcast, the better. If you did watch it, an abomination. At least F1 have got their you-know-what together.
Was it not good? Oh, I know, I missed it.
Oh my goodness, Robert. Probably the worst thing I've seen on
TV. Really?
Oh. Gianni Infantino, I don't know if you're an F1 fan, you're watching or listening to this, hang your head in shame. It was an abomination.
Okay, well, so that's said and done.
To the brilliance of Sunday down in Abu Dhabi. No official figures yet. We did catch up with Saif Al
but this is,
CEO of Athana.
They will be happy.
The pods.
They will be happy.
They had smiles.
Record numbers. Entertainment on and off track, on non-stop.
Ronaldinho was there, Thierry Henry.
Big
I
names.
saw Yannick Sinner.
Yannick Sinner was there.
Emily Ratajkowski. Yeah. Lovely to see her. Jason Statham was there. Who else? There was many famous faces. Anna De
Chris McHardy.
Chris McHardy was there. Robert Doornbos. We were all there. And you were a busy boy.
Yes, very busy boy. I mean, great partnerships with Adnok, Aldar, obviously Tara, Dubai Eye, the podcast TV, F1 TV. Thank you so much. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, you did a lot. And then we drove back together, and then you did Dutch TV from the comfort of your house last night.
With my friends from Ziggo
A big shout out to Newman, our driver, because he got us back quickly last night.
Very talented.
To ensure, very talented. Better driver than you. Definitely a better driver than me to get Robert live on Dutch TV. But Rob, it's been an incredible season.
Definitely.
I'm already looking forward to 2026. They're testing in 35 days?
They're testing in Bahrain on the early Feb. They're starting already. We're going to be there. We have to be there.
We are going to be over there. We'll hopefully bring, behind closed doors, or is it open to us?
It's open.
It is
it's
open to us. So we will be over in the Kingdom of Bahrain. And then, of course, the season, early March, 6th to the 8th of March, all roads lead to Melbourne.
All roads lead to Melbourne.
And then it will be, of course, back to Abu Dhabi. Just want to thank everyone who's listened to the podcast in this opening season. We're not going anywhere. Yes, Robert's going to go on holiday for a week and rest. I probably need a little bit of rest for this voice as well, but we're not going to go anywhere. There's going to be loads of content. Yeah. We're going to be back in these hot seats, talking about the new cars, any big announcements.
The launches of the teams.
There'll be plenty.
There's enough to do
for us to get our teeth into. A reminder, it is the Pit Talk Pod. You can follow us across all social media platforms. You can follow Robert. You can follow myself.
And let us know what you want to see change for next year. More questions, more interaction, more prizes, more
guests.
More guests.
More
guests. That's a good thing. We've got a few lined up.
And we've thankfully got loads. We've got a laundry list of partners that want to get on board with us. So the Pit Talk Pod is going nowhere. And Lando Norris, final word to that young man. He is living the dream right now.
Living his life and enjoy it. You're a Formula One world champion. Well done, Lando.
Richly deserved. Right, Pit Talk Pod, back with you again very soon. From us here, though, a big thank you for your ears, your eyes, and everything in between. Thanks, guys.